Hi folks, welcome to part 16 and the final part of the Luthier's Lair series covering Project Boris. Sorry, my lawn guy's outside doing some lawn work, but that's okay. In this part, the finalisation of the whole project will be brought to fruition, and I'll be demoing the instrument and saying Bon Voyage as actually is scheduled tomorrow, I think, or well, it'll be today for you guys. Obviously I'm pre-recording this. It will be on its merry way across the Atlantic. It's got its passport photo taken and everything. Yeah, so without much further ado, let's go get on with it and say bye bye Boris, the gas bass Quintessence. Well, the other day I posed the question, what was missing from Boris, and of course the answer was a truss rod cover, which I just made out of carbon fibre and installed. So that's in, and that was one of the finishing touches. The other one is these are going to be replaced by the same size of knobs, but they will have abalone tops, like the hat, the top hat knobs here, but these will be the straight ones. And I was entertaining the idea of maybe encircling the switches with something like carbon fibre or something like that, but you know, I'm not sure about that. I might just leave it as is. It's elaborate enough looking already, I think. So yeah, it's been sitting now assembled for about 2-3 days. It's bedding in nicely. I've play checked it occasionally. I don't want to scuff it up and stuff. You know, maybe that's why people like Scott Devine wears gloves when he's using these basses, but I don't know if I can play a bass with gloves on. You'd have to be pretty damn tight, you know. So the next step is to put this through my, first of all through my PA system to check that it's okay, an okay sounding bass for like a live environment, and then I will stick it through the desk to see what it's like in a stereo type environment. So that is the next step. Indeed. Cool. Alrighty, okay. I had the bass under tension for about a week, and I'm fairly happy that everything's kind of stabilising, which is always a good sign. And now I'm just going to do the final touches to the neck, which is a clean down with some denatured alcohol. That will dry the neck out, the fingerboard out quite a bit. So I'll re-oil it with a mixture of mineral spirits and boiled linseed oil here. Doesn't need long. You wipe that on, let it sit for 15 minutes, then wipe it off again basically, and then just let it dry. But for the denatured alcohol, I'll just use a shop towel, and I'll go in there and we'll just clean it up. As you can see, there's still some dye in the wood there, but just get the fingerboard clean. Just keep going in there, get that clean. I'll go over that bit again. Shouldn't take much if you haven't handled it a lot, and I haven't handled this bass a lot. I have played it for about an hour maybe, so it shouldn't be that dirty. Just needs a little bit cleaning off. If you're careful, you don't need to mask off the sides. If you're careful during this operation, That's it. Okay, that's the fingerboard cleaned. Now leave that for about a minute or so till it's dry. Sorry about the air conditioning being on, by the way. Need to keep climate control in the workshop. Now we'll take a lint-free cotton rag and just apply some of this boiled linseed oil to the fingerboard. One fret at a time. There's no rush. Don't worry if you're going to get it on the frets, because I'm going to be polishing the fret with a little Dremel tool with a buffing attachment to it, a very soft buffing attachment, which is how I get good results. And it's quick too. You just need to have a nice steady hand. You can mask off the fingerboard, of course, when you're doing this. I'm used to doing this, so I really don't need to. And just make sure you get some oil in there so that the fingerboard doesn't dry out completely, and just keep going down. Okay, I'll finish the rest of this, then we'll come back after it's been absorbed and wiped off, and we'll do the frets. Okay, brilliant. See you in a few. Right, let's do a quick rundown of the control functions on the Quintessence base. Oh, excuse me. Oh God, just had a huge breakfast. Yeah. So of course we have the output jack. So let's go plug it in and switch on the little bench amp that I have. And first off, twanged that a bit hard, didn't I? Okay. This control here is treble. I'll turn that up a little bit. Okay, so back that off. Okay, this is middle or mid frequencies. That's out of tune. And this one is the bass control. I'll just put the bass up a bit here. This control here is pickup blend. It's now on the back pickup right now. Let's put it into the front pickup. Much more P-bass sound there. And I'll put pickup blend to the middle. This one is the master volume control. So down. Okay. Now let's go to the switches. Now I've got both pickups on. They're in parallel right now, which is a thinner sound. Okay, let's put the back pickup onto series. So the volume gets much higher and it's a thicker sound. And of course the neck pickup on series. And although you probably can't hear it over this phone microphone, that's a much chunkier sound. I can sort of back off the treble a bit now keep the mid up, bass all the way up. You get a nice finger style sound from there. Back on parallel, stick the treble up a little bit, back off the mid a little bit, that's how I like it. But individually you can hear the differences with series parallel. That's back pickup, the neck pickup there, parallel, and then in series. Let's go to the neck pickup, in parallel, series, much warmer and higher output. And of course the last one, which is the LEDs. You can see there, that's the switch for switching on the LEDs, and that is the control layout of the Quintessence bass. Huge amount of tonal variety. Just by even using the pickup blend you can get a lot of tonal variety, and then the 3-band EQ here, lots and lots of options for sounds. So that's it. Okay folks, one final tip before we get on to demoing the instrument. How to install the batteries. Things to be careful with. Now I've loosened off all the screws here already with a screwdriver, and in order to protect the bass from my screwdriver in case I slip, I sort of, you know, protected it with some cloth. It's a good idea to do that. Okay, this lid should come off pretty easily, but I do supply these little suction cups. You just plop that on there and it comes off. Okay, so you'll see two very strong plastic battery clips here, not the leathery ones that fall apart, and it's just two 9-volt batteries, and you just pull this out slightly. There's some relief on there, and clip them on. Okay, just like you would usually do, and then push the cable back in to the body, and the foam here on the side, make sure they sit very snug in that compartment, very snug. They don't move, they don't rattle about or anything. Polish up the cover again, well, I'll actually wait till it's back on. And then put the cover back on. Be careful once again, just sort of give screws a couple of turns, putting them in by hand there. And the key here is to not over tighten the screws. Do not over tighten them. Make sure they're holding the cover down, but do not over tighten. If you do that, you'll start to strip out the thread that's been cut for them. Okay. So as soon as you start to see the cover go flush, then that's fine. So many times I've seen bassists over tighten screws and then you have to get bigger screws, and then it looks awful. Okay, and the holes are countersunk slightly, so you can just nip them up there. You should use your finger to guide that. And we're done. Batteries are installed. Final tip, and then just give that a nice polish. Okay, cool. And of course, to uninstall them is the reverse procedure. Yes, indeed. that's it. Boris, or the gas-based Quintessence. I'm not going to call it Boris again. It sounds too much like other Boris people. Yeah, it's going to be on its way across the Atlantic now to its owner, Lair Quintana of France, and this build has been excellent, actually, in a lot of respects. Apart from, you know, trying an experimental finish on it to start with, and having that not being satisfactory, and then switching to something more regular, you know, in the finish. But the bass sounds fantastic. There's a huge amount of tone variation there. I just hope Lair loves it, and we'll go from there and see how the gas-based Quintessence actually bears up, because Laurent's probably going to gig with it, probably, I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you all for following me on this journey on this bass, because it really was a total out of the blue type of thing, one off, here's a spec, go. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Can I do it? Well, yeah, it looks like I did. So, yeah. Anyway, if you like what I do on this channel, please, well, do that. Give me a thumbs up, and then subscribe, and then ring the bell for a notification of any other future uploads that I'll be doing, and you can all join in the fun. Until then, as usual, stay safe, take care. I'm getting my lawn mowed, you might hear that outside, and folks, thanks very much for joining me here on this series, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers, thanks for watching, bye bye.